Hey everyone, welcome to your Modern Maven Tarot Monthly Tarot. Before we dive into the tarot though, I wanted to go over the astrology briefly for November 2024 and also want to thank all of you for joining me. If this does end up resonating, please do hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with somebody who needs to hear this message. For November 2024, there's a lot happening astrologically. We're finally going to be entering Pluto and Aquarius, which is very exciting, but remember too, this is a very pivotal transformational period. This transformation for some people might happen overnight on a conscious level, but as far as the 3D level, we'll be going through some transformations for a while. Now, if you want to skip ahead to your tarot reading, I will have that time stamped, but if you want to stick around for a little bit, get a little bit of information, I also highly suggest that you check out astrology.com's calendar for November 2024. Take a look at your chart and see if there's any key highlights, specifically too if you have a planet, let's say you have Mercury in Sagittarius, and we have Mercury entering Sagittarius on November 2nd. I would highlight that and then utilize that energy to the best of your benefit. Since this month is so transformative, we really want to stay grounded. So I'm going to remind everyone, the best thing you can do is constantly do your shadow work, all right? Your inner child wants to feel safe. Okay, and so the best thing you can do is continually do that, utilize that energy, because the more of us who individually do that shadow work, the better off the collective will be. Okay, so let's kick this off, and the full calendar again will be linked in the description of this video. Now, November 1st, we start with the new moon in Scorpio, okay? So this is going to be exciting and scary, okay? Because, it's that idea of knowing that there's change, and change can be exciting, but it can also be scary because we're leaving the comforts of what we know, all right? Even if what we know isn't the best for us, there's still comfort in really expecting what's to come. Now, this new moon is very productive, okay? It'll help us plan for the future. And since it's a new moon and it's regarding transformation, let go of anything from your past identity. And I've already noticed this in the tarot readings that I've done so far. There is so much to embrace with the new, but we gotta let go of the baggage from the past to feel lighter, especially once we get into that air energy of Aquarius and Pluto. Pluto and Aquarius. So let go of your past self, get ready for the new, embrace the possibilities. So this new moon, even with all the chaos in the collective, personally set those intentions for yourself, for the collective, for what you envision the future, all right? And allow it to come to fruition. Now, November 2nd, Mercury enters Sagittarius. I love this because that energy is really bringing truth and honesty, okay? And so here's where this truth and honesty too, it's going to be for the rest of the year, where it's like, I want the truth, all right? You're going to want the truth. We have a lot of misinformation. We have a lot of energy of deceit that has been around. And this is a great time also for making travel plans, okay? So if you also want to explore learning more, if you've ever wanted to go back to school, now is the time to do it. And getting a better understanding of the world, okay, and the collective. And this will be great going into Pluto and Aquarius, connecting us all in the global community. So the more you can do to understand people who are outside of your, personal bubble of understanding, the better you will be in preparation for the insights that are coming to all of us, okay? But travel plans, get excited. You just had that new moon, so you actually might want to incorporate some travel plans in that new moon in Scorpio. Where have you always wanted to travel? Exploring and expanding your knowledge, okay? Now, November 3rd, we have Mars entering Leo. All right. Now, with this, we are going to feel more passionate about life, okay? However, don't forget, along with the heat, that Leo can bring the drama. So going back to your shadow work, the more that you can make that ego energy less confrontational, I guess, is really what I would say, the better off you'll be. I mean, sometimes we do have to allow that confrontation to come. It's just make sure that you're choosing your battles wisely, all right? Because the Mars and Leo, we're going to want to assert ourselves to defend our ego. And sometimes we don't necessarily need to get into the muck, all right? Now, remember, a lot of chaos. There's going to be so much baiting and trolling to get you to attach your energy to low vibe energies, all right? So rise above and focus on the future ahead. Focus on your new moon in Scorpio intentions, okay? And allow that flair for drama to allow you to shine, not to get in the depths of the muck. Now, November 11th, 11/11, I love this, Venus enters Capricorn. So this is where we're going to really get more serious and practical, okay? This is the energy of slow and steady wins the race. Now remember, Venus isn't only love, it's your finances and your health, okay? So when it comes to business relationships, your reputation, thinking practically about all of these areas of your life of relationships, health, wellness, finances. You're going to be feeling more practical, and you're also going to learn to align with people that make your life better. Okay, so this is where we really are going to start seeing the people who are putting in the work. All right, so if you are in a situation where maybe you feel like you're carrying more of a weight, you're going to start noticing the people around you who are doing just as much as you, and you're going to start gravitating towards those people. Okay, but this is the best time to get serious with everything. So we're wrapping up the year, we're tying up loose ends. And so if there's anything related to loose ends with your finances, with any business relationships, that's really something that will encourage us to tackle. Okay, now November 11th, I'm sorry, not November 11th, November 12th, Saturn goes direct in Pisces. Now, this is exciting because remember, we had Saturn going direct in November 2023 at the beginning of November. And now we have a full circle, okay, of a year. Now, Saturn has gone direct and retrograde in that time a couple times, but we get to go and reflect back on the last year. What challenges have you faced? How have you built your strength and resilience? These are questions we want to ask because we want to be our own cheerleader, okay? Especially leading up to the full moon and after this. So it's time to drop back into reality. So it's so nice that the day before we have Venus entering Capricorn, which is already energetically encouraging us to really get serious about what it is we want to nurture, okay? So when we get back into the reality, Saturn's pulling the reins back, all right, until the end of the year. Now, this is where we can use the lessons we've learned to build solid foundations. Okay, and emotional boundaries. That's important. Now remember, because Pisces, that's a big lesson with Pisces in general, is emotional boundaries. So this is setting us up for 2025. Now here's the big thing, because solid foundations, so important. If there's cracks in your foundation, we want to nip that in the bud right now, all right? And so here's where we need to ask ourselves, of all the areas I've grown, of all the areas where I've stepped out of my comfort zone, where am I still holding myself back? Because that's what we are going to want to accept the challenge of into the new year, all right? Utilize November and December to really flush out anything that is still left over from past identities, past chapters, okay? Now, November 15th, full moon in Taurus. So this is so lovely because Taurus rules Venus, right? And on November 11th, we have Venus going into a fellow Earth sign, Capricorn, a very practical energy. Now, this full moon in Taurus is going to be very grounding, okay? It's a very sensual full moon, actually. So it's really where this is the fork in the road, okay? Where we have to ask ourselves, what are our values, all right? If your values change, that is part of evolving. That is part of this higher consciousness. So this is a good time to really go over everything related to value and what you value, and also your valuables, okay? Because Venus, again, also rules finances, and Taurus is the ruler of Venus. So we really want to ask ourselves, like, perhaps there's things that you valued before, like material things that you don't value as much. Let's say that you always valued, buying really nice clothes. We're in Sagittarius season. You're thinking, you know what? That money that I've been using to buy clothes that I'm not wearing, I could put in a savings account to take that dream trip that I've always wanted to take. All right, that's the kind of like reassessing values here with this full moon. Really asking yourselves, where am I putting this money? And am I getting the satisfaction I used to get out of what I'm doing with my money? Okay, and again, like also putting out the energy of love. Please, 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 collective love. We need it so much. Now, the big one, November 19th, Pluto enters Aquarius. Okay, now Pluto is finally going to be here for the next 2 decades. So this really truly is the dawning of a new age. We have to remember that. Now it's the dawning of a new age, okay? And so while some of us might like consciously be already there and jumping in there, we really need to remind ourselves that this is going to take work, and Pluto's about power, okay? Personal power. Now we have Saturn direct, which is actually a positive thing because we're able to put that discipline and rising the challenge, the resilience into this new age of rethinking power, all right? Re-identifying what power is to us personally and power in the collective, and how we want to see power play out in the collective. Okay, so we have to get ready though for what this brings, okay? It does bring the falling of empires, rebellion, but a new vision for the world. And so that's what you need to hold on to, is understand the process, send out love, and really believe in the dawning of a new age, okay? Now, November 21st, Sun enters Sagittarius, okay? So over the next 4 weeks, this is going to be really fiery, but really positive fiery energy, all right? This is where we are going to feel this sense of generosity and daring, taking risks, all right, filled with this feeling of freedom. And we want to race to that new horizon of this new worldview. So we're really going to be pushed and amped to push forward Pluto and Aquarius energy, all right? So channel that energy to the best of your abilities. And remember, we also have Mars in Leo. So remember not to only do it for your own personal ego, but what you truly think is the vision for the future for all of us, not just yourself, but for all of us, okay? Really putting your passion into what is best for the collective and allowing your ego to shine in a manner that isn't just self-serving, all right? But this is going to be so exciting. This is bold energy. Put yourself out there, okay? Really do the things that you've always been scared to do. Because remember, we also had all of that Scorpio energy. So we're shedding, prior to this, we're shedding all of the things that have been holding us back. Now, November 30th. Oh, and right after that, we do have a Mercury retrograde, but it's really more about travel. So just pay attention to your travel plans during Mercury retrograde, okay? But Mercury retrogrades aren't always this doom and gloom. Okay, now November 30th, a new moon in Sagittarius. So we have 2 new moons in this month, okay? So this is a power-packed month. And remember, I'm only doing just the highlights. Go to astrology.com. There is a lot more details. Highlight these dates. Write a little note in your calendar, for setting intentions, for making daring moves, for doing everything, all right? Now, new moon, November 30th, new moon in Sagittarius. This is where we want to spend the last days of November breaking out of our comfort zone and expanding our horizons, okay? This is a good time to take a holiday trip. Again, going back to that Sagittarius energy of learning, expanding our horizons, traveling. Like, this is where we want to get excited, okay? So we're putting all that energy together, and now's the time to actually take these plans and be like, I am going to come and make them into my reality. All right. So it's a very exciting month ahead. I hope you all are excited. Remember, stay, as Pam Gregory says, stay on your eagle's perch. Stay focused on the future. Align with your values. Align with the people who also align with your values for the greater good of the collective. Okay. And now enjoy your tarot reading. All right, Aries, let's get into your tarot reading. Now, one thing I do want to note while I was clearing your cards, try your best to be that grounded fire this month, all right? There's going to be a lot from the energies of the collective trying to pull us all in to the petty BS, okay? And because you're fire, because you're bold, because you're fearless, it's very easy to respond back, to react to things that trigger us, especially because of people enticing us for reactionary behavior. All right. So the best you can do, though, hold on to your vision of what it is that you want in this new age. Hold on to this vision of what you want with Pluto in Aquarius, because we just need to tune out that air energy. All right. Now, just remember, yes, there's so many wonderful things to this Pluto and Aquarius energy, but it is connecting us even more strongly via air communication. And because of that, we might not have a grasp yet of how intense it is when we are on social media and how we absorb that energy, how it attaches to us versus, like a water sign, we absorb people's energy. And especially with like interactions day to day. And now we're going to all be feeling that with like that air communication. Okay. So just be mindful of understanding all of those elements and doing your shadow work. The best thing you can do right now is do your shadow work this month. All right. Everybody's being called to do it. It feels like a heavy load. It feels a lot of energy of Like, can I put these wands down yet? And here's where I think once Saturn goes direct, that we are going to really be seeing clearly just how much resilience we have built with carrying all of those wands. All right, that fresh start is coming. The most important thing you can do, stay grounded, practice what you preach, and hold on to that vision and live that vision every day. All right, live that vision. Yeah, this is what we want to see coming in. Okay, this is actually the wonderful example that I'd love to give, because you could think of the shadow aspects of the Emperor as Capricorn and Pluto, and you can think of the wonderful energy that's coming in with the Pluto and Aquarius as the Empress. All right, we're getting back to that, divine feminine power. Okay, and we can see that. And once we can attune to how this is going to benefit everybody, we're just going to feel more aligned. All right, I'm just getting an understanding, and those moons, we're going to feel a lot more aligned. And don't forget too, you have a lot of fellow fire energy now. Even though there's not a lot of Aries placements this month, there is a lot of Sagittarius and Leo energy. All right, and so we really want to harness the best attributes of that and taking charge in a new way, taking charge with optimism and hope, and being the fire that is grounded and lighting the way for others. Okay, so let's see what we got going on for you. Okay. Yeah, Pluto coming in strong. And what I'd also love to know, which I think is so cool, is this came up so much in December 2023, and we're coming back a lot full circle November to December, November. I'm so excited. November to December about this emotional evolution. For you specifically, Aries, that was a big message related to your Saturn, and related a lot to also the Uranus energy that was really prevalent in December. And so really think about this emotional evolution, this emotional journey you've been on, because it's been big. Shadow work, okay? Definitely we are going to focus on our shadow work. This is amazing. Okay. Wow, look who pops up again. Look at that. So like I said, we're going to be feeling lighter, and we really need to be mindful of our shadow energy. And I just love saying, it's really saying focus on where you're going. Okay, the energy for this month is really focus on where you're going, because it's just going to be so important. All right. Okay. Overall energy for the month of November 2024, Aries, is the Devil. Now this is ruled by Capricorn. So what did I say? There's so much here related to this. To me is that collective energy, but that collective energy is triggering you personally. Okay. So it's this idea of there's so much shadow energy because Pluto is direct in Capricorn for the last time in our lifetimes, and it's going to rear its ugly head, if you will, right? But the lesson here is to see how all of this is in all of us in some way, all right? The collective unconscious type of energy, understanding the nature of appearances, understanding how people become people, all right? Why people do the things they do. And it's not so much on, that otherism, if you will, but understanding that we all have shadow attributes and why sometimes we do project that shadow. Why do we do it? Out of fear, out of shame, out of guilt, So all of these things, really recognizing why the shadow does what it does and how it works, and just trying to see it and face it in a new way. And if you've been hiding, let's say it comes to reactionary behavior and you don't want to face the thing deep down below that causes this, and it's it's okay. It's a part of who you are, but that's okay. Once we face our shadow, we embrace it, okay? So this is going to be a very pivotal one. But like I said, I think it's more of what we're seeing in the collective, and then understanding that just pointing something out is not going to be the solution, okay? We got to get to the root. And that's why I think, because we have the high priestess in the area of what we have the right amount of, so you are ready to get to the root of this. And when all of us can individually get to the root of it, collectively, that power builds. So that's the other thing, the individual responsibility we all have, okay? The more of us that can collectively individually do our shadow work, the more healing power we will see and feel in the collective. Now, in the area of what you need more of, the Three of Coins, all right? This is Capricorn energy in its best. This is dedication. You know, what I would say is it's stay in your lane, all right? You just focus on where you're going. This is financial gain and increase. But it's also this idea of like focus and dedication is going to build whatever it is you're working on. Now, it doesn't need to be related to your finances. It can even be, you know, health, like mentally, right? Like dealing with the shadow energy and focusing on the healing is going to bring about the success you're looking for. But the most important message here with this in this area is staying in your lane, staying focused on where you're going, not understanding this for what it is and not giving the power it wants. All right. Because it doesn't want you to turn around. It has control over you. Right. And so the way to turn around and face it is by not giving it the power it wants. Okay. It feeds off of that power. It feeds off of the triggered reactionary power, the fear. You know what I mean? So area of what you have the right amount of the High Priestess. Now, this is ruled by the moon. And so, honestly, I really think that those, the new moon in Sagittarius at the end of the month is going to be very profound for you, okay? And I just also think like Sagittarius season in general, but we have 3 moons, okay? We have a new moon in Scorpio at the beginning of the month again. We have that one in the middle of the month, full moon in Taurus, and then a new moon in Sagittarius at the end of the month, okay? It's a lot of moon energy. And that moon energy for you is activating the messages within you, okay? It's finally time to listen to that message that we have been ignoring because we don't want to face something. This is wonderful healing energy for you. So really pay attention and go deep. But there's something here where, again, seeing below the surface, investigating, this is where we get the aha of like, I don't want to just know that person, you know, is a bad person. I want to know like what allowed them to become a bad person almost. Like that's really honestly, there's a lot of investigative energy with this. Now what you need less of, the 6 of Wands. Okay, so this is Jupiter and Leo. Now this is expansion with ego. And so here's where it's like this, doing this investigating, doing this shadow work isn't for personal gain. It's not for personal gain or fame. But this is really a message of making sure you stay focused to the inner, all right? And staying in your lane. This isn't something to project out into the world yet. I do think that that's coming, but I think that this journey is just beginning for you, all right? There's a big journey, clearly life-changing big journey that is being offered to you, and we're just getting started, okay? Now, what you can change, the Empress. And so here we go. This is that idea of we are very much seeing this Capricorn and Pluto energy, right? And by middle of the month, I think that's when we really get that clarity with that full moon illuminating stuff. But what we can change is the Empress. So this is Venus. This is grounded earth energy. All right, we have that full moon in Taurus. Remember the full moon in Taurus, November 16th. And this is where we can like really recognize like what do we value, all right? And how can we nurture the things we value? This is that, you know, the softer edges, if you will. This is that grounded fire energy that, you know, provides warmth and light. That's like that motherly nurturing energy. And this is where no matter how you gender identify, we can accept that, we can change the way that we look at the world, okay? Because the Empress is earth energy. It is Mother Earth. The way that we look at the world is what we can change right now. And we want to look at it with the Pluto and Aquarius energy. We want to look at it with this shift that is coming. Now, what you need to accept, the Lovers. So here's where this is relationships as Gemini energy, but honestly, for me, this is a groundbreaking how you can change the way you look at yourself. All right. The way that you can see yourself in everybody. And here's that aha moment I was saying. And it's a lot of work on your own. All right. We don't need to be out there showboating, if you will. There's just this energy of like, I can see now how I'm reflected in other people and how they are reflected in me. And that is a huge big deal. All right. When we can actually have that aha moment, and it's the othering, like there's this lot of this, like, well, that's not me, that's that person. And, you know, judging, if you will. Judging is actually a really big theme. If you go look at Pam Gregory, Heather Ensworth, they have a lot of energy related to that of like, we can project and we can judge, and we all do it. I do it, you know, and there's nothing like to, again, there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of the process of coming to these realizations. But you are going to have a profound energy when it comes to you having more harmonious relationships, because you finally understand this, you soften your edges, if you will, and you really get to see that. Now, the end of the month, Ace of Swords. So here's where it's like, this is, now a lot of people are shifting with their values. Like, so that full moon in Taurus is bringing a lot of this energy of like, what do I value? Why do I value this? And you are going to have this light energy. So I love seeing this when I saw that 10 of Wands while I was clearing your cards. You're going to have a wonderful light energy of feeling the freedom of a new perspective, of feeling the freedom of a new way of thinking that is going to free you from Pluto and Capricorn energy. So this is, even though this is like personally a shift for you, it's a major shift for you, because all of this major energy is clearing the way for you. All right. So much freedom is coming from this. And again, you're taking that sword, but it's a new sword. This is a whole new way of thinking for you, Aries. And it's so exciting. So I want to see what past life energy is coming to the surface related to the devil. Wow. Well, look at that. Okay. So phobias. All right. So now this is very much connected, like I said, to the collective energy. Now think of, when I'm reading this, really think of like our collective history and how this will resonate. And then again, how we can utilize that energy to go below, see below the surface and do our own investigating if we can. All right, so 1 second here. This card comes to you compassionately to help you connect the dots between current life phobias and past lifetimes. Often consciously remembering the past life source of your anxieties is enough to release their grip on you. The situation you're inquiring about is its basis is underlying fears and has underlying fears and phobias. These fears are energy blocks, which are These fears are energy blocks, which are slowing or prohibiting the results you desire. Phobias have to do with the impulse to have complete mastery over situations that are out of your control. They also bring up many trust issues. I think that's what's coming too with this Gemini energy, the lovers dealing with like faith and trust and all those things that we might have issues with. Your higher self and unconscious mind, so the high priestess is your higher self, your unconscious mind, know the original source of any phobias you may have manifested. You can unearth the origins of these phobias through a past life regression or even through dream work. For example, as you're falling asleep, ask your higher self to give you information that you'll remember upon waking that's related to the phobia. By directly confronting your underlying fears, you can lessen their hold on your unconscious. It's all about awareness, okay? So this is big, especially during the time of those moons, the new moons and full moons, specifically that full moon in Taurus, because that's linked to that Empress energy. Ask yourself, because this is something that's within you. And then once we see it in us, we can see how we don't need to judge others as much as we do, okay? This is major, though. I love this. All right. Now, let's see what archetypal energy is affecting you. Okay. What archetypal energy? Ooh. Okay, so this is actually very interesting because I put it back. You might have seen that there were two cards that flew, and one was scribe or writer and one was finances. And archetypal energy, you got scribe. Okay, so this is also very clear of writing. Okay, like this is something where you have, like, this is, take away the coin, put a pencil in this person's hand and a piece of paper. That's what you need to be doing. And it's the communication with your higher self. All right. So scribe, light attributes, preserving knowledge and information, shadow attributes, altering facts or plagiarizing others' works. Now, altering facts, that's something that we're really seeing, especially with the increase of AI. And this is where we can really fine tune our media literacy, if you will, to really recognize what is real and what is not real. And what does that even mean? All right. That's something where I think you might be connecting the dots and investigating further of like the reason of why people do this. Okay. Very cool. All right. Let's get some dragon energy for you. All right. What dragon energy can help Aries November 2024? But really, like, what's so major and big this month is the fact that we had, I know I already mentioned this in the astrology part, but the fact that we had Saturn direct last year in November, beginning of November, and we've gone through retrograde and direct, but now it's going back from retrograde to direct in November. So again, look at last year around November to now and look at how far you've come. All right. Are there things that you shied away from facing? Are there things you shied away from putting out there? And so that's really where, again, not to beat yourself up about it, but to just encourage that inner child within you. All right. So dragon energy, Omega dragon, harness the divine feminine power of creation. You are being called, like I said, to soften your energy, soften those edges and really harness that energy. There's nothing to be fearful of with that. Intention, hold your vision, birth the higher consciousness. That higher consciousness is coming from within you, okay? And staying focused on the inward journey. Crystal yellow dragon. Wow, opens you to higher learning and wisdom. Like I said, all of this is lifting you up. So once you say yes to this, once you accept that challenge from within, it's lifting you up into the clouds, into the Aquarian age, Aquarius air. Expand your crown chakra for illumination, walk the higher spiritual path. So like I said, yeah, there's a lot of energy of staying in your lane here this month. And I mean, you got fiery energy, and fiery energy is fantastic, right? But we just want to take a new approach this month. That's all. All right. Now, crystal energy you can utilize this month. Wow, you got a lot. Okay. Larimar, service. Garnet, manifestation of purpose. Crocite, passion. Of course, you're passionate. And emerald, spiritual healing. So if you're able to utilize these energies this month, I really do think they're going to help you with this, because you really are. You're going through a lot of spiritual healing here, okay? And let's get an empowering question for you, Aries. All right, what empowering question is going to help Aries? Wow, this is a big one for you, Aries. Okay. What advice on life would I give to myself if I was a mother and wished nothing but happiness for my child? That is this Empress energy here, okay? That is the Empress energy, like the energy you're meant to change, okay, and tune into. That motherly energy is so important for all of us, okay? And remember too, like let's say a lot of this is connected to a mother energy that you had where there wasn't that. It's never too late to reparent yourself. I always want to say that it's never too late to reparent that inner child and let them know they're safe, okay? All right, so let's get a clarifier and then we're going to close this out. Aries, thank you so much for joining me. Again, please hit that like button, subscribe to Modern Maven Tarot, and share this with somebody who needs to hear it. And let's get a final clarifier for the month of November for Aries. Wow. Oh, wow. So the Lovers and the Knight of Wands. And look what it's bringing you to, the Ten of Pentacles. So this is groundbreaking. I think what we're really going to click the dots to, because this is strong Sagittarius energy, but you're going to, if you've been feeling drained, doing this heavy work, if you will, is going, like I said, it's going to lighten you up. You're going to feel revitalized. That Sagittarius energy is going to activate something within you, and it's a spiritual healing. All right, so much spiritual healing connected to not only the relationship you have with yourself, but your relationship with others. All right, amazing reading, Aries. Again, thank you so much for joining me. As always, shine your inner light. You've got this.